Stars. My name is Andrea Klim, and I am an astrological counselor and a shamanic practitioner from the local area. And I want to say Happy New Year to everyone. 2013 is, I hope it delivers you perfection on all levels. That is spirit, soul, mind, and body. And I want to thank you all for your continued support of Turn to the Stars as we continue to bring to you information about the stars every single week. So again, thanks for watching, and today's show is going to be about as you see on the screen, stars report for January 2013, and try to kind of give you a little layout of what today's show is about. We're going to be talking about what's going on in January of 2013 with the stars. We do have a new moon, a new theme, a new beginning, which is happening out in the universe with a new moon starting January 11th. Which is next Friday, and today is January 2nd as we're recording Turn to the Stars. So next Friday, January 11th, is a new moon at 21 degrees of Capricorn, and I'm going to be talking to you about what that means to you in your life. And then the next event that's coming up at Turn to the Stars is a psychic holistic fair, our first for 2013. It's actually our 16th bi-monthly fair that is being held at the Yard Seafood and Steakhouse in Manchester, and the theme of this fair is a spirit, soul, mind, and body event, and that is again January 12th of 2013, and that is from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Yard. And the next event that I'm going to be talking with you about and sharing information about the influences, the potential, and the tendencies is the full moon, which occurs on January 26th of January. And that full moon is going to be at 7 degrees of Leo. So we're going to be talking about what that looks like and what that influence will bring to all of us in our lives. And then the last and final thing I'll be talking about on today's show is Jupiter and its path through the constellation of Gemini. It's been in this sleep motion since October, and it is going to be waking up on January 30th. And so we're going to talk about what that looks like. But before we get into the sequence of different information we're going to be talking about today, I do want to play for you a really exciting, fun video which shows you all the participants of our Psychic Holistic Fair, which is next 2 Saturdays from today, which is January 12th. So I'm going to go ahead and play that video and come right back when it's finished, and we'll discuss the rest of the stars, the events that are taking place in our universe in January 2013. Enjoy the video. As you can see from our video for the fair, including all the participants, we have 13 different types of readings to offer. We have 2 different healing therapists, and we have 4 great vendors. And amongst the vendors, we have a new participant at the fair, Susan Morgan, who's doing the Mystic Dream Center. She has her journals, and she's also going to be doing readings out there in the vendor area. But amongst the readers, we have some of the top psychics and mediums in New England at our fair, and including myself doing astrology readings. If you look at our considering the video, and if you go to www.turntothestars.com, you can see a full menu of everybody who's there. So we're really going to look forward to seeing you at our 16th Psychic Holistic Fair, January 12th. And again, thanks for always supporting us as we continue to provide, our attention is to awaken our community to the quality of holistic healing. So again, thanks again for coming out to see us, and we're hoping and wishing, putting that intention out there for great weather, no snow next Saturday. And to move on with the show, I want to talk to you about the full moon, which is going to be coming in next week. We're going to be feeling the shift of finishing up the old and bringing in the new. And this is actually going to be the second new moon since we had the eclipses that occurred back in November. So November to December, then December to January. We've gone through one cycle, which is being the theme showing us of change in our lives that came in November, and December showing us a whole new frame of events adding on to that theme, and then January, so being the third new moon since the eclipse. This one right here is actually helping us to sort of turn the corner, or take a look at where our work lies. And so I want to share some information about that new moon, because it certainly is reminding us of the harsh reality of the winter months of January. It's cold, and Capricorn is typically a very cold sign, and so we want to do things to warm it up. You're going to be really aware of that as this month progresses, especially with this new moon coming in. And there is certainly some worry and some anxiety which is here present in the United States. And it's interesting, some information about new moons and full moons, which is something I often talk about on Turn to the Stars, because it is a cycle, the natural cycle of life. But new moons and full moons are actually what we call crisis lunations. And if a new moon or a solar eclipse connects with any planets by degrees in your birth chart, you are certainly going to be experiencing that shift, or you're going to be in a major cycle of change. I don't like the word that they use, crisis lunations, but it truly is, because it's new. This means that you're in a cycle of new beginnings, and those new beginnings coming to full light by the time the full moon comes. So if you are experiencing this sense of crisis around these times, it's most likely, as I said, that if you looked into your astrology forecast for insight, which is to have a reading, it would provide you with some in-depth insight into what this change is about in your life and where you're going. So that's some things that I like to sort of remind everyone about these lunation cycles. Some of the things that I can recommend that you do around, if you are in this time of real change in your life with these new moon, full moon cycles. I know that most of my clients, most people come to see me are in these periods of change. In the new year, create a vision board, what your visions are for the new year. bundle up, go outside, take a walk. These are some positive things that you can do if you're in this cycle where things seem like they're all shifting. If you're feeling sad, do something fun, regroup, watch a funny movie. Put on some fun music and dance. I was watching New Year's Eve, some of the top artists, music composers of the year, and Psy was on there with a Gangnam Style, that new dance. It's so fun. So those type of things. Create something new, and you gain a sense of purpose. These are all things that you can do to warm up this Capricorn energy, which does really appear to be quite cold as it comes in. And it, talking about cold, it's certainly cold enough outside. So, but January 11th, next Friday, this new moon, in the U.S. birth chart, I have a chart which I'd like to put on the screen right now, showing the new moon. The new moon would be down in, I'd say around, let me see, I'd say around 7 o'clock on the chart. You see down in the bottom left corner the crescent for the moon and the sun, which is a circle with a dot. And where this new moon or this new theme or this new beginning is happening for all of us here in the United States overall is in the area of what we value, our finances, our sense of valuing where we're going, what we're doing, and we appear to be somewhat in a gridlock over financial matters. Sort of at odds and relating about insurance matters, welfare of the American family. These are things that we're in this gridlock space. But there is, what this is indicating, though, is that we do have an open door ahead in this new theme or this new this time of new beginning around this full moon, that there is going to be, that the door is going to open for us to resolve areas which are frustrating. There are going to be temporary setbacks this month as we start anew. We're blocked in being able to have progress and fix things immediately. It's interesting because as I studied this chart in preparation for today's show, it did indicate that we're not sure how we're going to take action without some party becoming angry. I have some information I want to share with you, which is, you've seen me use these on other shows. Sabian symbol for this new moon degrees in the constellation of Capricorn, which is 21. So we're 2149, which is almost to 22 degrees of Capricorn. So in looking at that Sabian symbol, it does indicate that that there's some feelings and concepts that are still within our consciousness as we begin this new year. I do want to point out, before I go right into that Sabian symbol, that there are 5 planets all together on this new moon in Capricorn. And those 5 planets are the Sun, the Moon, Mercury, Pluto, Venus. They're all together in the constellation of Capricorn. Certainly a very strong reminder, both personally and outwardly, of the work that we have set up ahead of us. There's a concentration of energy and strength with these Capricorn planets all in alignment, indicates us that this is a period of renewal and that there will be new efforts to get things finished. With this force of energy and power directed by the universe, our creator, we need to work the structures at hand, use what we have currently in place to improve on and to reach our own desired outcomes. So the energy of these 5 planets is asking us to take action to transform the structures already in place by making a commitment to take action on what we believe in. This is the key, what we believe in, and to consider the things that have an influence on us and hold meaning in our lives. So how we and others see ourselves, our time, our assets, our talents, and our resources will determine our results, our success, our happiness and our satisfaction. So what we believe to be important will dictate what we achieve this month, January 2013. Now, it's interesting because the Sabian symbol, as I started to talk about before, Sabian symbol is another way to provide deeper insight into the current energy that's at hand. And I tend to look at Mark Edmund Jones' Sabian symbols because I really like his insight that he provided on each one of the degrees of each of the placements of the constellation. And so for this one, Capricorn 22, imagine a picture of a general accepting defeat successfully, meaning that we know that we have some areas of defeat, and that the best, most positive way to look at this picture, which is present for us all at this time, is that it helps us to develop strength, and it shows that there is a sense of loyalty to long-range goals. So if you look at just this alone, it may seem very glum, but the reality of this degrees is really of this picture is of a very self-disciplined, and that there's a grace of spirit, and that there's a graceful acceptance of what has defeated us and what our next step will be. So financially, here in the United States, we have this huge transition which is occurring, and we have come to some agreements, and those agreements will probably be being debated for some time, especially this month. So the key to this new moon cycle is to expedite our learning, which has come from the experiences that we've had, and to change our setbacks into accomplishments. We should be careful of becoming irresponsible and accepting the worst. So this symbol asks us to decide on a strategy. Capricorn's very good at working toward the next step, taking the next step. So this symbol does ask us, this new moon cycle does ask us to think about a strategy for making decisions before you put them into action. So it's very important for us to look realistically at the facts of our financial circumstances and either admit to defeat or to retreat. It seems, though, that it's latent for both parties, the Republicans and the Democrats of our government at this time, to really come together as they're doing. There is going to have to be a laying aside of the pride, of our pride, and our new strategic plans working toward collectively achieving solutions. So the degree of Capricorn, which is 2149, and we lean toward 22, demonstrates the principle that to lose a situation or several in a row does not mean that we do not successfully accomplish what we set out to do in the first place. So in the most positive way, and at looking at this new theme of change, this new moon can turn every loss into an advantage. So it's so important to remember that every setback is temporary, and this one is a temporary setback where we are learning from it, and we're learning what we have available and how we can use what's available to us in different ways. So the key to our strategy should be is our ability to adapt when needed. So this approaching Capricorn new moon, which is January 11th again, is repeating and reminding us that our belief is the foundation of our strategy. And so now we should put our core beliefs into motion, and that will dictate how we achieve our goals. So the next let's see something here. I had written some other notes on this new moon. That this new moon does, wait a minute, that's a full moon I'm looking at here. I want to talk about the new moon, continue on that before we move to that full moon, because between January 11th And January 26th is every day light being shed on this path that we're traveling on. And so the foundation of what we believe in should be our strategy for moving ahead. So let's now talk about the full moon, which is at the end of January. January 26th to be exact, and that full moon is going to be at exactly 7 degrees and 22 minutes of Leo, a very, very expressive sign, Leo. So you can expect that the energy and people's emotional responses as we draw closer to the end of the month will be a lot more demonstrative, a lot more dramatic, a lot more expressive, a lot more fiery. This is a fire sign. So this full moon forms aspects with Jupiter in Gemini retrograde, which is stationing at this time, meaning it's getting ready to turn around. Uranus in Aries and Pluto in Capricorn. So their connecting powers bringing to light that it is time to take a giant step forward into the unknown, that we should be brave. So this full moon is symbolizing the expectations of the human spirit as it gains strength from the recurrent battles over social and political concepts. And as you can see on the chart that was just up on the screen, that full moon, there it is again, that full moon is actually right up in the, that's the Jupiter, that's the Jupiter, when Jupiter wakes up from it. There we go. There's the full moon. You can see it up around 1 o'clock. 7 degrees on the outside ring is the 7 degrees full moon in Leo. And it really does, this full moon really does force us to believe in each other and our ways of facing change, and that we may be looking to others, reaching out for assistance. We've always headed toward, in this country, we've always wanted, put our best foot forward to be a leader in banking and in healthcare, insurance, and at this time, this is the possibility. There is a possibility for some resolution by taking that step forward, by being brave, by trying something new. And that is what we maybe see coming to light, is that the United States decides to try something new, that it decides to reach out to a foreign country or a different land for some resolution or for some help. And that this resolutions would and joining forces with others would help us to maintain our integrity. Before the show comes to completion, we have a little bit of a shorter show as we begin the year. A lot of the changes here, which are really good at Manchester TV. However, I want to just talk just a couple minutes about the Jupiter retrograde and that it waking up. And you saw that chart on the screen a little while ago. And Jupiter has actually been in that backward motion, forcing us all to expand inwardly, to find our center, to gather information, to, take a look back at the way things are pulled apart, or the way things have become divided, especially when it comes to unemployment, when it comes to the workforce. And so at the end of January 30th, as you can see, Jupiter will wake up from its long, sleepy retrograde and begin to move ahead. You'll begin to feel things shift, and you'll begin to feel things start to move ahead. If you have any planets in your chart close to 6 degrees, between 6 degrees and I believe it's 13, you're going to feel the effects of this in your life. It is going to be the time that whatever you've been exploring, whatever it is that you've been talking about, whatever it is that you've been looking into, it is now going to be time to move ahead. So those are the things that are taking place in January this month. And I do want to say thank you for all your continued support of Turn to the Stars. And we look forward to seeing you at the Psychic Holistic Fair. Take care and have a great week. We'll see you next week.